Warm, jovial, joking. We were always a happy people. Gregory and Alexander, they were a cute couple. They both loved the outdoors. They both loved to run, bike, and swim.
They met at work, and it was love at first sight.
They were both very nurturing to their daughter, Kylie.
They were triathletes. They ran, swam, and biked. Biking was the big thing.
They would do that quite often on this same road. We were shopping in a mall in San Antonio when we got a call from the hospital.
They were very civil and very nice. And the doctor said that he had really bad news and that Gregory had been hit. And so I said, okay, well, let us see him. And he said, I'm sorry to tell you he didn't make it. He said, Ms. Bueller, I worked so hard. He's so young and I tried so hard and it didn't work. And I said, you must have. But I said, what I need to know is about the other victim at the site. I can remember asking if she had long blonde hair. And he said, it was too hard to tell. I don't think there was much left to identify. And as it turned out, we found out she was drug over 400 feet. And poor Kylie. How do you tell a 6.5, 7-year-old child that her mommy and daddy aren't coming back anymore? How do you do that? Every holiday we miss them. It's funny because you always kind of expect him to come walking in the door. And it's been 5 years.
This morning, my wife and I went for coffee, and there was a young couple there with a young girl. They all look like Alex and Greg to me. And so it's almost a constant memory.
As Texas cities grow, and more people, workers, and others, we are now going to take a closer look at a quickly growing group of vulnerable users, people on bicycles.
Usually when I see a cyclist on the road, sometimes I tend to get a little bit nervous just because I'm not sure what they're going to do sometimes.
Especially kids, they don't know the rules, they might not signal properly.
It can be a little bit frustrating at times when you get stuck behind a cyclist, but at the same time you have to kind of stop yourself and just relax a bit and try to remember that that's the way they're getting around.
A recent statewide survey revealed that most motorists feel comfortable sharing our roadways with cyclists. Yet almost a third of motorists feel frustrated with cyclists, and some are even angry about cyclists sharing the road. Some motorists may even wonder why cyclists are out on the roads.
I got into cycling to add to my exercise routine.
I'm 51 years old and I want to stay in shape.
I started when I was little and my dad used to take me out to the little trail and we'd ride bikes along the trail.
I sold my vehicle, my Jeep Wrangler, and I had to use my bike as my form of transportation.
I like to compete. I like to race against people. I like to challenge myself.
I ride a bike because it's so much fun.
Cyclists are here to stay. Learning how to share the road together safely is the next step. Through education, understanding, and compassion, we can make that happen.
It is important that motorists understand the state laws that are designed to keep people on bicycles safe. Cyclists must stop at stop signs and red lights the same as any other vehicle driver. Like vehicle drivers, cyclists should be predictable by signaling all turns and stops. Cyclists should always ride as far to the right as practicable, in the same direction as traffic. Be aware that inexperienced cyclists sometimes use sidewalks or travel against traffic. People on bikes have the right to take the lane in many instances. Riding bicycles side by side is fine and legal as long as the motorist can pass safely. If not, cyclists should ride single file to allow vehicles to pass, as cyclists must not impede traffic. At night, cyclists must have an active white light on the front of their bikes and a red reflector or an active rear red light on the back. Police can ticket cyclists who do not use proper lights. Find out what your local bicycle laws are, because they do vary. Knowing the law is the best way to keep yourself and cyclists safe on the road.
Texas cities are introducing new types of infrastructure to keep pedestrians, cyclists, and other vulnerable roadway users safe. By understanding how this infrastructure functions, both motorists and cyclists can safely interact while using it. Bicycle lanes are designated by a white stripe and a bicycle symbol that alerts all road users that a portion of the roadway is used exclusively by bicyclists. Some bicycle lanes place to guide bicyclists to the best place to ride on the road, avoid car doors, and remind drivers to share the road with cyclists. Unlike bicycle lanes, they are not exclusively for bicyclists. Bike boxes are found at intersections. They are painted green with a white bicycle symbol inside. The box allows bicyclists to position themselves ahead of traffic to be easily seen. Green highlights for conflict areas are used to highlight locations where motorists merge across or turn across a bicycle lane. They draw attention and improve safety. Cyclists can stay safe by planning their trips and choosing their routes. However, because many destinations are still only accessible by roadways without special infrastructure, motorists need to be extra cautious.
Down from outer space, give you all the time in the world. We keep singing, it's just a matter of time before I call you mine.
Hello? Yes. I don't know. I just hit him with my car. I don't know. I can't tell if he's breathing. We need help.
Nobody ever thinks something like this will happen to them. We often think we are smarter, better drivers, or luckier than the average motorist. But the reality is, distractions affect us all. The four main types of distractions are manual, taking your hands off the wheel; auditory, not listening to the sounds around you; visual, taking your eyes off the road; and cognitive, taking your mind off driving. These types of distractions can take many forms, like doing your makeup or talking to passengers in your back seat. In any case, the bottom line is, eliminating distractions saves lives. There are many types of crashes that involve motor vehicles and bicycles. T-bone, also known as side impact collision, occurs when a motor vehicle hits a cyclist from the side. The right hook occurs when a car overtakes a cyclist when making a right turn without yielding to the cyclist. Unsafe passing occurs when the motorist does not yield the right of way to a cyclist. Dooring occurs when a driver opens the door of a parked car in front of a cyclist. While crashes are tragic for both parties, they are especially dangerous for cyclists. Think about it. If a truck or car crashes into a person on a bike, who do you think is at a greater risk? You can prevent these crashes by practicing and sustaining safe driving habits.
When I see cyclists riding in the street, a lot of times I'm a little nervous because I think about the fact that I'm in a motor vehicle and I am surrounded by airbags and doors, and a cyclist is pretty much out in the open. I think about the distance between the cars and the cyclists, how to pass them, how I should go in front of them, how many feet should I be from them. I definitely think it's important for motorists to know that the person on the bike is a person just like them. They have a family just like them, and just to be aware of their surroundings. And when you see a cyclist, just slow down. And then the same thing for the cyclist, just to be aware of your surroundings and be aware, of the cars around you. I think roads are a safe place for cyclists as long as motorists are aware of how to interact with cyclists.
One of the most important things you can do when passing a cyclist is to give them enough room to move safely. Cyclists need room to maneuver around gravel, potholes, and other obstacles that you might not see. To safely pass a cyclist, always give them 3 feet of space. In a large or commercial vehicle, it is recommended to give them 6 feet of space. While following a cyclist, maintain a proper distance of at least 2 full seconds. Without the proper following distance, there may not be enough time to stop. Texas law requires cyclists to ride as far to the right as practicable. However, cyclists could take the lane or move to a different position on the road at any time for a number of reasons, such as the lane is too narrow for cars and bikes to be on the road side by side, to avoid debris or obstacles in the bike lane, to position themselves to make left turns, or to avoid the door zone of parked cars. Heavily trafficked roadways are especially dangerous for cyclists. Cyclists often need to use the shoulder on these roadways when riding long distances. It is important to stay off the shoulder and be aware that they are there. Hitting a cyclist can be fatal. It is important to be aware while you're driving. Train your mind and expect to see cyclists and other vulnerable road users at all times.
What most people do not realize is the same part of our brain that assesses how well we are at doing something